for you up here. My little lady today has brought her poster board. And what should I put in this blank for my first rule I talked about yesterday? Let me put that in a different color. Where do I put that? Different color. Okay, so I got x to the n plus m. What about this? What did I call that? Had a name? Product rule. So I call this the product rule. Our book doesn't call it this, so you better try to get some of the notes down on how I call these. Our book is sort of rogue in that regard. It just calls them properties. I think they should have some particular names to them. And a lot of books, some books do, and some books don't. This book does not. Not that I know of. It may mention it, but I haven't found it. What about the second rule? It's called the power rule. I'm going to go with the name first. Thank you. That's fine. So, what should be the blank, Crystal? X to the n, because xn is just this. There's a difference, okay? All right, so x to the n times n, or m, so I'm multiplying my exponents. That's called the power rule. What about this next one? I did give you this next one, didn't I? So I'll have x to the n all over y to the n. I don't recall, but it's kind of a vague name. For now, we'll just call it no name, just for the sake of calling it something, I guess. There is a name, and it slips my mind. It's vague. That's the reason why I can't connect it right away. But I'll come up with it. I know there's a name. There's a name for all of these. There's a name for all of these. If not, we'll make one up. Okay. This one here, I know it's kind of sloppy, but what did I call? Now this one's 1 over x to the minus 1, which is equal to x to the positive 1. This has a flip side to it, it says. It's called the negative exponent rule. This is called the negative exponent rule. Okay? I just kind of threw that at you last time. Or the flip side would be x to the minus 1 in numerator. No, you won't normally see the 1 down there, but it's there. And then that's the same as bringing it downstairs. I think I also called it the upstairs downstairs rule. I'm not sure if I told you guys about that one, but I call this mainly, actually this is the negative exponent rule, and this is the upstairs downstairs. Upstairs. Downstairs. And that's the one I didn't throw at you yet, I don't think. I don't know if I threw this one at you yesterday or not. And then we have x to the 0 power, that's equal to 1. There's actually one more, and I'm just, in fact, I think I may have counted this as 7, but there might be one more. I want to pick it up at 6.4, which talks about something called distributive property. You guys have all seen it. You know what? Does anybody know it by memory? What distributive property, if I use A's and B's? For example, if I have A times B plus C, I think some of you may know this. I might be whistling Dixie or singing to the choir or what have you. So what's the result of that thing going to be? Yeah. So I like to do this, by the way, and this you should have 2 parachutes. Boom, boom. So parachute in one and parachute the other. Anybody ever parachute before? Anybody? It's brutal. I did it once. Damn. It's fun, but.
Well, that was you, the guy with George Bush.
No, I didn't go to George Bush. someplace in Wisconsin. So, took all day to train for it, all day. And then you sit in front of a lawyer and you literally sign your life away. If something goes wrong, can't blame me. Can't blame anybody. Can't blame the pilot. Can't blame bad weather. You can't blame the corn that you land on. Can't blame anybody except yourself. So you sign your life away. And then when you're up there, you're like a bird. And everybody else are ants. You're going through clouds. So it was kind of cool. I'll probably remember it the rest of my life. Plus I got a photo of me doing that. So screaming bloody murder at first until the parachute opens. Once the parachute opens, you're good. But then the landing is tight, you know, so you're and you got to put on the brakes. So at the last minute, go, and it literally the whole chute just stops, and you land on your feet. You're supposed to land on your feet at the target site. No, I landed on the top of a barn and slid all the way down into the pigsty. Smelled like holy. Okay, so now we're using distributive property. So distributive property says we're going to do this, but we can also do this. If I can do that, then I can do this, yes? Same thing almost. So what's my result going to be? AB plus AC, distribute, plus AZ. So 3 terms. That's more likely what you're going to see. Also, you could see this. Change colors. My ass-kicking color out here. Minus 1. B plus C minus 2. This is the ass kicker right here. This is what everybody, if you don't take notes on this, you're going to end up kicking your own ass, basically. If you don't take notes, you're going to be kicking your own butt, big time. You're not going to remember half the stuff. I talked about that day 1, right? 80% of what you do is gone as soon as you leave the room. As soon as you turn that radio on. Gone. In your car, finito, it's done. You can barely remember my name. What's my name? Okay, so if I distribute this, what do I get? So I get negative B minus C plus 2. Yuck. So what happened? All the signs changed to opposite. So this was plus, now it's minus. This was plus, now it's minus. This was minus, this is plus. I can't tell you how many students missed the last one. They'll get the first 2, but they'll forget about the last one. Because a negative times a negative is a positive. It happens all the time. And I'm going to warn you about it, but still half the class will forget it. If you don't take down an example and put a little star by it. What do I mean by star? I mean, warning, Will Robinson, warning, Will Robinson. That means, yes, you will make that mistake. I could promise you right now. If you don't write it down, you're done. So this will happen to everybody. This will happen. Again. And again. Will happen. That I can promise you. Okay. There's another type of distributive property. And this one gets kind of difficult if you don't see what I see. Let me write down an example that they have in the book. Here's another type of distributive property. This is through division. This is through multiplication. This is through division. So you have distributive property that works through multiplication. Salute. So you have distributive property that works through multiplication, which I've demonstrated here. Now we're going to apply it through division, which is a little tougher. Well, for some it might be a lot tougher. Okay? So how would I apply this? I apply this with a big old heart, because I love you so much. So what I'm doing is, you're breaking my heart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this in half. I'm going to say AB all over A plus AC all over A. I love you, man. So now I can cancel out my A's and just get B. Cancel out my A's and just get C. So my result is B plus C. Okay? So that's how we're going to do it. We're going to do just some examples. That's the sort of gist of it. This is sort of the symbolic representation, where I'm just using symbols. Now let's do some with numbers. See if they make any sense. Any questions so far? So here's an example. Let's see if you can do it first. 9A plus 6B all over 3. So here's my first example that's not so symbolic. So make a little box for this guy. See if we can slip it in there. Keep that example up there. What?
No.
Brianna? Just thinking out loud? Okay. Well, let's do the steps. Let's do the first step. So what's the first step going to be?
9A.
So I'm going to get 9A all over 3 plus 6B all over 3. Right? So my 3 goes into that, right? My 3 goes into that. This goes 3 times. This goes twice. So what's my result is 3A plus 2B. Or not 2B. That seems to be the question. Everybody see how I got there? It gets a little trickier when you have negatives involved. And this is where things go crazy. Crazy, crazy. Let's get a negative in there. Let's say, let's try this bad boy here. So 4, this example, another example. So I got 4A squared B minus 12AB squared all over 4AB. Well, not just negatives, but multiple variables. Oh, yawns are coming. I hear them. This one you want to take your time on. So again, I'm going to make my heart, because I love you, man. So I'll make my heart, my broken heart. So I'm going to break this down. Basically what I'm doing is I'm breaking it down into both these guys. So I'm going to get 4A squared B all over 4AB. Now I got a minus. Well, there's a minus then comes in here. And so now I got 12AB squared all over 4AB. Okay. Everybody so good? Everybody good so far? Did I lose anybody? Everybody there, right? Anybody out there? Okay, so what can I do to that first expression? Well, cross out our 4s, our likes there, because 4 over 4 is same as 1, right? Now we can apply exponent rules, right? Right? Yeah. So my first expression is going to be I'm going to rewrite it like this. A squared